What's up, hockey fans? Welcome to another episode of Snipe Celly. My name is Dan Bradley. Alongside me, the freshly gummied, freshly tatted Joel Fernino. Joel, how are you doing tonight, buddy?
Freshly gummied, freshly tatted. All right, well, I feel like I have to preface the second part first before, like, everybody who follows knows the whole gummy thing. But so, yes, I got session 1 done of a new tattoo, and if everyone always notices the Avengers stuff in the background, you would not be surprised that it's literally a bunch of Avengers stuff.
Yeah, that's pretty on brand, pretty in character.
It's not. So some
congratulations, gummy check passed.
What's that supposed to mean?
It means that there was a checkpoint to make sure that you did, in fact, finally do the gummy that you've been promising for at least a month now, maybe more.
Yeah, I kind of didn't keep my end of the bargain on taking the 2 because I missed the 1 week. I did not do that. I think it was. Go ahead.
I was gonna say you did what, 1.5?
Did about maybe like
2?
1 1/4. Yeah. 1 and like it was about half. Yeah.
So Joel's feeling all right. Joel's chilling.
You know what? I'm feeling undefeated, Dan, because my playoff bracket is perfect.
Gummy fail. Where's the fail here, Mark?
I didn't fail. Come on, Mark. You're supposed to support me.
Yeah, we still got to have Joel halfway functional for this show. We can't have him, completely out of his gourd.
I'm a very much lightweight when it comes to that stuff. That's why I take like the smallest gummies ever.
Well, Joel, let's get right into things tonight, and let's start with the Eastern Conference Finals. The first matchup, of the 2 conference finals, starts tomorrow night. The Florida Panthers and the New York Rangers. Joel, what does each team need to do to win this series? Starting with not taking gummies.
I mean, actually, that would probably help, if they're banged up and such.
Yeah, for some of them, maybe.
This is probably the biggest coin flip match for me. I'm actually very scared. So I have to be honest. I put a bet on the second round, but I texted you last night. I chickened out because I didn't trust Edmonton to actually,
get the job done.
So I did it again, except now it's literally just saying, since my bracket is perfect, I'm like, okay, I'm going to ride it. Somehow, even though the Rangers are proving to me that they're going to, it's tough, but I think I stuck with the Panthers, and I'm very scared with that pick is what I'm trying to tell you.
I thought you had picked Carolina in the East.
Nope. You did.
I did. I had Carolina and Dallas.
I mean, here, I have you go on a riff. I can pull up my bracket because I still have it.
But while you're doing that, sure, we can do that. We can talk about the Rangers injury update. Phil Hedl, all sorts of stuff going on there. He's been listed upper body illness, soreness, whatever. Didn't practice. He's questionable for game 1, but it sounds like he's trying to get to go. Just not sure if he's going to get that clearance in time. Ryan Lindgren, it's not looking as optimistic there. He's been out undisclosed for a while. He's missed 3 straight practices, didn't practice today. So that's the injury update there for the Rangers. Other than that, there's no injuries to report. Same thing with the Florida Panthers as well. No injuries to report there. So just from the health standpoint, that's a check in the box for Florida for now. But as we saw, it just the entire playoff so far from Florida, their style of play is we're going to knock everybody around. And the longer that goes on, the more of a toll it takes on you. Do you think that the physical brand of hockey that Florida has played the last couple of years catches up with them against a team like the Rangers who, while they can be physical, they do tend to be a little bit more finesse, a little bit more skilled than what Florida brings and a matchup like Boston, what we saw in the second round? Where do you think the injury fatigue factor comes in just based on their style of play?
I mean, I guess that's part of why I'm a little nervous. Well, I guess no. I'm not as nervous, but here's the thing, like, can the Rangers handle that kind of tough play? Like, yes, I get the injury factor from the toughness and, going so hard, but that's why, like, the Rangers still are kind of untrustworthy at the same time, because they're like, can they handle that kind of physicality for this long? Because they're more of that finesse style. And also, is Artemi Panarin going to keep showing up like he has?
Right. For the Rangers, to me, the biggest factor is, can they get Shesterkin the goal support? Because Shesterkin has been, for my money, the best goaltender of the playoffs so far. The concern for me is, can they continue to give Shesterkin the offensive support at the other end of the ice? Because he has all the talent in the world to carry a team through to a cup final. But I look back at, where he was at the year that he won the Vezina, and come playoff time, the team just kind of disappeared around him. And I look at last year, where when he was not on his game, things were dramatically worse. But when he's on his game, that Rangers team can go toe-to-toe with anybody. It's just a matter of, can that continue? Just Shesterkin looks lights out right now,
as we expected.
Yeah, that's what we've come to know from Igor Shesterkin. I'm getting the stats up here right now.
By the way, I pulled up my bracket, and yes, this is exactly my final four.
So Shesterkin at playoff best 923. Or no, I take that back. Second best. He's behind Jeremy Swayman, who had a 933 save percentage.
Right.
Shesterkin was 923. And then goals against average among your goaltenders who played more than 5 games. He is a little bit further down. He's actually behind Bobrovsky, but it's close. Bobrovsky is 237 goals against average, and Shesterkin is 240. So pretty much negligible in that regard.
I'm excited for this one, Dan.
Yeah, if over or under 6.5 games for this series.
Oh, 7. This has 7 written all over it, doesn't it?
It sure seems that way, but I feel like every time we've been like, "Yup, that series is going 7 games," it's been like 5, maybe even a sweep.
I mean, it just goes by the whole, whatever I say, it's going to happen opposite. I mentioned twice now that my bracket is perfect. Now the exact opposite is going to happen.
As far as the Panthers go, they have gotten some outstanding play so far in the playoffs from Matthew Tkachuk and Alexander Barkov. Exactly what you expect to see. A team that has its star players stepping up in big moments, exactly what you need for playoff success. Role players contributing across the board. If you look at these rosters top to bottom, who has the edge, and who do you think is going to win this series? I know it's tough.
You're asking me to call the thing I just called a coin flip.
Right. And are you going to stick with your bracket, or are you going to flip your pick and take the Panthers?
I haven't.
Or did you have the Panthers and your flipping would be the Rangers?
Yes, exactly. I had the Panthers, but because it's such a coin flip, all the points you brought up, especially the physicality, like, it's just so. I would say this might be a cop-out answer. And it might. So when it comes to like FanDuel betting Panthers, I've already locked it in. I'm sticking with my bracket. But roster top to bottom, I give the slight edge, at the very least in the offensive side of things, to the Rangers.
I think that's fair. I think team offense, edge Rangers. Team defense, edge Panthers.
I agree.
Which means team goaltending.
And right now it's neck and neck.
It's pretty close, but Shesterkin has the better numbers in that regard.
Right.
I could easily see this one going 7. I could also see either goaltender getting hot and the series is over in 4 or 5. Like it really could. Because the goaltending is that when you get to this level and the goaltending steps up that much, it's that much harder and everything is more magnified. Every big save and every big mistake gets so amplified. I could see a hot goaltender just coming in and showing up and showing out. I mean, look at how like everybody wrote Vancouver off when Demko went down and then Casey DeSmith was hurt and then Artur Shilovs comes in. Shilovs played out of his mind, carried that team like game 7. Like they were getting outshot like 23-4 at one point in that game, and it was a 1-0 hockey game. There were so many passengers on the way for Vancouver. Like that they even kept it close. Was a credit to the work that Shilovs did. And when you're talking goaltenders like Shesterkin and Bobrovsky, who, I mean, and not to discredit Shilovs at all, but like those are objectively better goalies right now. I don't think anybody's going to argue that. It really speaks to the quality of their playoff performances. It speaks to how dangerous and how tough of an out those teams are going to be and how tough they are to beat. Rangers having home ice for game 7 is important. But I really, like you said, this series is a coin flip for me.
Where it's, and you called me out on it, and I'm prone to flipping on this one. It's really, I want to stick to the bracket. It's perfect so far, but like, I'm literally talking myself into flipping.
Well, I'll tell you what, you stick to your guns and then I'll go the opposite. So
because you can't decide?
Right. So you make your pick. And you're saying Panthers to stick to your bracket?
Yep.
So you're saying Panthers stick to your bracket. I'll go Rangers.
Okay.
At this point. Because my pick in the East is out. I picked Carolina, and that's who the Rangers beat to get to this point. So, yeah, I guess, man, what a disappointment for Carolina. Like that it wasn't just that they lost the series. It was they got embarrassed, I feel like, in that series. And like, good thing they've got Rod Brindamore signed. Like he's coming back, signed a long-term deal to be the head coach there for a while.
But Tavo's coming back home.
But Tavo is out the door. Brady Shea has 1 foot out the door. Martin Necas has 1 foot out the door. They're going to have a tough time getting everybody re-signed there.
That was a weird trade article I read about Marty Necas.
Necas, is he restricted or is he unrestricted free agent? Because I thought
I want to say
he was unrestricted.
I thought in that article, I thought it said restricted.
No, he is restricted. So it's going to pretty much have to be like a trade somewhere. Because it's not going to get to a point where somebody's going to offer sheet him. I think they're just going to have to trade, and it would be, you're not going to get as much as an offer sheet, but you're going to get pretty darn close.
Right.
To what offer sheet compensation would be. So you're probably talking either multiple firsts or a first and a top prospect. Necas has earned that. But yeah, just we've gone over this before. I'm not going to hash it out too much, but the names that they have to figure out if they want to re-sign for next year include, but are not limited to, Max Comtois, Jack Drury, Seth Jarvis, Martin Necas, Ryan Suzuki, Jake Gensel, Jordan Martinook, Stefan Nazin, Teuvo Teravainen, and that's just the forwards. Then you throw in Brett Pesce and Brady Shea defensively. They have a massive offseason coming up here. They have a projected $27 million in cap space. If you go Brett Pesce and Seth Jarvis and Jack Drury, that's more than half the money gone right there. Pretty darn close.
Yeah. Sucks.
But yeah, you're going Panthers. I'll go Rangers.
Yeah, I got to stick to my guns.
It is decided.
It's going to be the opposite.
Over to the Western Conference. We just talked about the Oilers. Game 7. Survived and advanced. Got through the last two because they were down 3-2 in that series, looking at elimination.
And it got very scary in Game 7 towards what? I texted you. I was like, did I just give out the kiss of death here?
Yeah, I mean, that series was such a head case because it started out, okay, here's the number 3 goaltender going for each of these teams, and they're both playing well, and then they really weren't. And so then they went back to Skinner and still had a decent goaltender battle. Excuse me.
Yawning. Come on.
Dude, I have been like brain fog all day today, and like I got more sleep last night than I did the night before, and I can't figure out why. But I'm just,
you know what? I'm gonna make you feel better. We're gonna do a sidebar for 1 minute here. I'm gonna make you feel better.
Go ahead.
I had the craziest morning ever.
Go on.
So I woke up to my AC.
Oh yes, that's right. You're telling us about. You told me about this, but you haven't said it on air yet. So
no. So
I need to hear how this story ends. I forgot to ask you.
So I wake up this morning like 4 a.m. to like my AC sounding like a weird sound. I've never heard it before. And then I was like, yeah, whatever, it'll go away. It did. I woke up to the smell of like burnt rubber.
Oh boy.
And it like felt like it was coming from the AC. And I was like, oh, that's not good. So I had to like stay home. And as I went down to the office like this morning to put the work order and be like, hey, like fix this. Spoiler, the AC is fine. But rewind, when I was coming back up from the office after saying like, all right, I got my AC and it's kind of messed up. I fumbled. As I got out of the elevator, I fumbled my keys and they didn't fall on the floor. They fell down the elevator shaft.
Oh boy. And you live in a pretty decently sized building. How many floors in your building?
Well, I'm only on the 11th, but 48 on my build. Yeah.
Yeah. So,
yeah.
I mean, it could have been worse. It could have fallen from the 48th floor, but still 11 stories.
I literally listened and I'm like, I think it hit the bottom. They're not gone forever. I just have to wait for the elevator guy.
Yeah.
So see, I got you.
Did you get your keys back though? That's the
not
question
yet.
for now.
Not yet. They are still sitting in the elevator shaft.
Oh boy. Well, the good news is you're in Chicago and you don't drive. So
correct.
It's not like you're waiting on your car keys down there, just apartment keys, but still.
Yeah. So
means you're stuck at home for the foreseeable future. Yeah. Unless I got another way to get you in, but
there's no hockey tonight, which is sad.
There's PWHL hockey going on.
Well, that's true.
At last count, I checked in right before the show. Minnesota, I watched the first period, was up 2-0 at the end of the first. Let me get the game up now just to see if I can get a score update here. It's loading in. Still 2-0 Minnesota.
There you go.
15:07 to go in the second period. So Minnesota trailing 1-0 in that series. Boston won game 1 4-3. Back and forth, 5-goal second period. Either team really could have won that game. Minnesota with a goaltender change tonight. So they've switched Matty Rooney out. Matty Rooney did not start the playoffs for Minnesota, but they can run a 1A, 1B.
Yep.
Kind of like what Boston was doing. And if that Minnesota team, they got as good a shot as anybody. That series, it could go either way. It could go 5. But we'll go back to Oilers and Stars here.
What do you think this series goes? That's a good segue.
I think this series goes 5 games. I think
don't say it.
I think the Oilers win game 1, and I think Dallas wins games 2 through 5.
Wow.
Well, and let me tell you why here.
You've been on the Stars.
I've been on the Stars since this time last year.
Yeah, exactly.
And the day that it opened for me to put money on them to win the Cup this year, I was like, "Yep, that's my pick. Lock that in and give me the best rate on it that I can get."
Would you lock it in at?
Dallas has lost 6 consecutive game ones.
Okay, so I get that. But
their last game 1 win was in the 2020 Stanley Cup final against Tampa Bay. They won game 1 and then lost the Cup.
Wow.
So
that puts things into perspective.
It does. I mean, they lose the first round, and more often than not, they're winning the series. Also, all of those first round game 1 losses.
You're apparently a traitor to the state of Minnesota.
I follow what the logic says. It's been there. And I've been there the whole way. It's been betting value. It's been good money. Stars are a really good team, and I hate it. Norm Green still sucks. Yes, a piece of me is going to die when I see freaking Ryan Suter in a Stars jersey hoisting the cup. That's going to kill me inside.
Did you see him and Parise's embrace?
I did. That was also really weird to see.
Right. Especially because that sounds like Parise is probably going to hang him up now.
And for the millionth time, the buyouts were still the right thing to do. The Wild needed to buy out Parise and Suter. With Parise retiring this year too, like the cap hit for next year, you think the $15 million buyout is bad? Parise alone would have been carrying about a $24 million cap hit next year if he had retired with the recapture penalties. So they needed to do it.
Still feels weird.
It still feels weird. It absolutely does.
It's still you could still agree it was the right thing to do.
It was the right thing to do, but man, is it going to hurt next year. But then all that money comes off the books, and you back up the Brinks truck for Kaprizov and go from there.
Yeah, and this is a good segue into what my thought process is. I'm sticking to it because, like you had Dallas, I had Edmonton from the start of the season. I believe actually we got to document this. This might be the
Edmonton
first
was
time.
Your preseason pick to win the Cup.
This might be the first time that both of us, since we've started Snipe Celly, this is the first time that our preseason picks are this close to actually coming to fruition.
Yeah. Because I think we both had – did we both have Carolina in the preseason?
In the Cup final again?
When we did our season preview show, isn't that who we had?
I'd have to go back, but it sounds right. It was either that or there's no way either of us had Florida. That would have been two. No, okay. Maybe we did have Carolina. We'll have to go back and check.
Mm-hmm.
But this is...
But either way, I thought we both had Carolina, and then you went Edmonton, and I went with Dallas. Because you having Edmonton and Carolina would have been a rematch of the Stanley Cup final the last time Carolina won the Cup. So
right. Which would have been cool. But this, Joey's comment right here, Oilers need a brick wall to win, is exactly why I'm a little skeptical. I'm still nervous. Even in the very end to knocking off Vancouver, that goaltending was like, oh my God, like, is he going to get a shut? Nope.
Yeah, because even here, Edmonton, we've talked for the last few years, like their defense has got to be better. Their defense has got to be better. Edmonton's penalty kill right now, 91.4%. It's hard to get much better defensively as a team than what they've done. Goaltending has once again been the Achilles heel of this team.
Yep.
Moneypuck.com, fantastic website. You get familiar with them.
Yeah.
Goals saved above expected. Stuart Skinner is the third worst goaltender in the playoffs in that category. Minus 2.1. So he's allowed 2.1 more goals than what he was expected to have allowed. Any guess on who the two goalies were that are worse? Because this will really surprise you.
Oh, well, one of them is Connor Hellebuck.
One of them is Connor Hellebuck.
Yes.
Other one is Eastern Conference.
Oh, damn. Okay. I was going to guess Georgiev, but never mind.
Georgiev is fifth on that list, fifth worst.
Eastern Conference. Wait, is it still Shesterkin from that? No? Okay.
No, but it is one of his countrymen.
Saros?
Ilya Sorokin. Saros is
Finnish. Sorokin, right. Wow. Those are two names you don't usually see.
No, you would not expect to see those names at the bottom of that list. And then on the flip side, you go to the top goals saved above expected leaders. Number one with a bullet, Jeremy Swayman.
Of course.
13.3 goals saved above expected.
Yeah.
Next on that list is Shesterkin at 8.8. And then next after that is Jake Ottinger, 5.2. The goaltending difference.
Yeah, it's
with where they're at right now. And that's not to say this couldn't flip. We've seen Stuart Skinner. He is a streaky goaltender. When he's dialed in, he will go on a 10-game heater. When he's off his game, Edmonton is completely just screwed.
Right.
And against a team like Dallas that can beat you by scoring more goals, they can beat you by shutting you down defensively and winning a 2-1 game, a 1-0 shutout. They got a lot of ways that they can make this Edmonton team pay.
And the only thing that keeps me awake at night with my Stanley Cup prediction alive is that Edmonton's speed can take over Dallas's. And yeah, I know, I get it. Everything else you just mentioned, it kind of tips the scales, but still, Edmonton's speed, and I mean just pure absolute goal scoring ability, despite Dallas's pure scoring ability too.
Yeah, and I think the big factor there too is the injury report. Rupe Hintz day-to-day. Yanni Hakanpää has missed, I think, the last 23 games going back to the regular season. If they can get him back at some point in this series, that's a big momentum boost for that team. Just the element that he brings, just a shutdown and physical defenseman. Like, he'll lead the team in hits, he'll lead the team in block shots.
Right.
And occasionally chip in offensively, but like, he knows his role. It's a different Dallas team when he's in the lineup, just across the board. And then Rupe Hintz, we know what he can do offensively. I mean, he's one of their better skaters too. If you're trying to match speed on speed, you kind of do need to have Hintz in the lineup. So unclear whether those guys are going to be ready to go. I think they're probably both going to miss game one. I think Hintz is maybe the one who's closer to coming back, but from what I've been reading and seeing, it sounds like both could be back in this series.
Yeah, I'm with you.
And then the only one on the injury report for Edmonton was Adam Henrique with an ankle injury day-to-day.
Yeah.
Joel, let's take a little Conn Smythe update here, shall we?
I'm interested.
So the current updates on the odds, your favorites right now are Connor McDavid and Jake Ottinger, both plus 500. Igor Shesterkin plus 600. Alexander Barkov plus 650. Leon Draisaitl plus 850. And Matthew Tkachuk plus 950. The important thing to know with these numbers is these aren't necessarily 100% indicative of who would be the writer's favorite right now. That's just this is where the betting action has moved these lines.
Right.
That said, Leon Draisaitl has 24 points, leads all skaters.
Yep.
He is the third fastest or third youngest or third fastest. What was it? Third fastest player to 100 career playoff points.
Oh, yes.
With only Gretzky and Lemieux faster to 100 points.
Yeah. That's insane.
What Draisaitl is doing, that's a value bet at plus 850 right now. Like that to me seems like a really good play. And if Edmonton advances, you're going to regret not getting the plus 850.
You actually took the exact words right out of my mouth. I was like, even before any of that, all I thought of was just, where's Leon Draisaitl? Where's Leon Draisaitl? Because it's going to be
it seems like he's too far down on that list, frankly.
Right. It could be not free money, but it could be.
Sergei Bobrovsky plus 1,600. Little further down, that one could be worth, again, if Florida.
Yeah, maybe.
Florida will advance as far as Bobrovsky can get them. I really think that's the deal with Florida because they're solid everywhere else.
Right.
Do we get Vezina caliber Bob for 8 more wins?
They better hope so.
Is Draisaitl your number one right now? Like, if playoffs ended today, is he the one who you're giving it to, or are you going Shesterkin?
No, I got to give it to Leon Draisaitl.
Yeah, I would hear the argument, but
just that stat alone, what was it, the third fastest? Like, that alone to me.
Yeah, I'm kind of in the same boat. I think, I think my vote would be Draisaitl, probably Draisaitl 1, Shesterkin 2, Ottinger 3. I think would be my vote.
Yep, exactly.
I did not have a rank the blank, so let's move into picks.
Oh, I get it. You were busy. It's okay.
I worked, and then as soon as I was done with work, I went and picked up dinner and came back, and I put the show together, and I just didn't have time to put one together this week. So
that's fair.
I'll figure out something for the next show. Yeah, I got nothing on the fly. So, Joel, you went 1-1 on picks last week. I went 0-2, trying to right the ship this week. Let's start with game 1. The Panthers at the Rangers. The Panthers, the betting favorite, despite not being on home ice for that game. I already made you really have to think about who you're going to pick in the series.
Mm-hmm.
Who are you taking for game 1?
This is where I flip. I still take the Panthers in the series, but I think the Rangers win game 1. Because they're going to make me sweat.
Even though it's a really slight home underdog, I always say I like a good home underdog.
Mm-hmm.
It's slight, it's close, but yeah, I'm going Rangers game 1 here.
Yeah.
Oh boy, Cyclones fan trying to get me riled up here.
Top 5
defensive defenseman, which I wouldn't necessarily be opposed to doing, but it was this comment right here. All 5 answers are John Merrill Mafia.
It's pretty good.
Johnny Vibes had such a brutal season for Minnesota this year. And oh my God. I had more. Deanna earlier was talking about migraines. I wonder if Johnny Merrill sent her that migraine. Like, my goodness, I had so many headaches from watching John Merrill play this year. Deanna, I hope you're feeling better. Mark hopes you're feeling better too. It's not disrespect to LA King John Merrill. I love John Merrill, the person. John Merrill, the player, was not good this year. He just wasn't.
Can we look up his stats? Can we look up his stats?
Yeah. I'll tell you what, you get the main stats and I'll get the number crunchers.
All right. So I got just this season.
Mm-hmm.
So 4 goals, 7 assists. Good enough for 11 points. Up an even 0.
Yeah, which frankly,
even 0.
Amazing considering how bad the Wild were as a team defensively. Not just Merrill, like everybody, with the exception of Brock Faber, was pretty bad this year.
You could argue that without John Merrill, there would be no Brock Faber.
I would argue that how explain yourself.
Well, with how bad you're saying, with how much you hated watching John Merrill play, Faber had to be that much better.
I mean, Faber did have to be that much better, but like those two weren't on the ice at the same time, hardly ever.
I mean, I get it.
And like
it was more to rile. It was another joke to rile you up.
Mission accomplished.
See, as soon as you were like, explain yourself.
Yeah. Let me get. numbers together here. Okay. John Merrill, 49.55 Corsi 4 percentage. Below 50 means he was on the ice for more shots against than he was shots for at even strength. What other numbers do we have here? Expected goals against while he was on the ice, 34.48. Actual goals on the ice against is 39.
Ooh.
So that's not great. What other numbers do we want to throw out here? Scoring chance for percentage is 49.09. So again, more scoring chances going the other way. High danger chance for percentage, meaning how many high danger chances when your team was on the ice versus when your opponent, 45.7. So again, about 55-45 opponent versus Wild when Johnny Vibes was on the ice. And just because I'm curious here, team on ice shooting percentage 8.06 with 8.04 with Merrill on the ice.
Yikes.
Yeah. Brodin led all Wild defensemen at 9.94. So decent jump there.
Yeah, just a bit. There's no really easy way to segue back into who you take.
There's really not.
Cyclones fan got you riled up about John Merrill, then I re-riled you up just about the Wild in general.
Cyclones fan, you're getting support just for being a Cyclones fan.
Wait.
Roll clones.
New segment?
Miracles for Michael.
Roast That's Cyclones fan? For.
What?
New segment. Roast Cyclones fan.
Oh. Nah, I like Cyclones fan too much to turn it into a roast. We only roast John Merrill and Seth Jones.
Well, hey,
if I say that
Jones had nothing to do with this,
if I say that Wild fans feel about John Merrill in a similar way to how Hawks fans feel about Seth Jones in terms of whether fairly or not being the most maligned defenseman on the roster, is that a fair comparison?
Not after this season, believe it or not.
I mean, it's not that he was necessarily bad this year, but it seems like just since he's gone to Chicago, it's kind of been like he's been the most maligned defenseman.
Well, I mean, I've told you how many times. It's all because, like, look, he's a phenomenal defenseman as a number 2. Which he kind of now is, now that Alex Vlasic is stepping in.
How do you like this for a comparison? Seth Jones is Karl Anthony Towns. He is able to be a very good player and a very productive player on a good team, but if he's your number 1, you're in trouble. If you get him an Anthony Edwards, he's going to thrive in that number 2 role versus having the pressures of being the number 1.
That is.
How do you like that comparison?
That actually is that's a very good comparison. And actually I wanted to congratulate you earlier in the show on your Timber Bulls. Sorry, that's the past. The Timberwolves.
It literally never happens to a Minnesota team. The Wolves were down by 20 on the road in Game 7 against the defending champs.
Yep.
And came back and won. I fully admit I had written them off at halftime. I was like, there's no way. There's no way they're coming back to do this.
I wasn't watching, but I kept getting the updates from your guys' text, and I'm just like, oh my God, they're coming back. Oh my God.
Yeah, they made adjustments. They outcoached Denver down the stretch in that one. But
also, can I have permission just for once to get a Minnesota fan t-shirt? Bring your ass.
Yes. SodaStick.com.
I love that so much.
SodaStick.com. Get your order in. I already put my order in. I got a Bring Your Ass to Minnesota shirt on the way.
That is one of the best sound bites.
Anthony Edwards had about 30 really good sound bites that night. That one takes the cake.
We've been losing for about 20 years, man.
For those who don't know, and I'm going to put the website up on this screen right now. if you go to this website, www.bringyass.com, it will redirect you to the Minnesota Tourism Board website.
Oh, no way.
Yeah.
All right, wait, I'm doing it.
Yeah, do it live right now. You can share your screen if you want to.
All right, bringyass.com. That was it, right?
Yep.
Okay, bringyass.com. That is incredible.
Yeah, they got that worked on.
I'm not sharing my screen, but yes, it takes you to exploreminnesota.com. That's incredible.
They got on that one so fast.
That is so.
Deanna, welcome to the Seth Jones roast show. This is what we do here. He's one of our favorite targets. We love Seth Jones, but we love to pick on him too.
I love Seth Jones so much. And now that Vlasic is going to probably be the number one, it's okay.
He looks like he really could be. And honestly, and we'll get into this more, after the Cup and before the draft.
Yeah.
The Blackhawks sitting at number 2, if they go Levchinov, that is their number 1 right defenseman. He's their number 2 going into next season, and he will be number 1 within about 2.5 years.
We will go into this more, obviously, as we approach the draft. All I will say, though, is I have been on a teeter. This whole episode is coin flipping. That has been a coin flip since we got second overall, but I think enough highlights and enough videos. I think I'm selling myself on Demidov.
Yeah, Ivan Demidov is like I told you in HP this in the group chat. I was like, Chicago is either going to get their Bedard's right wing for the next decade in Ivan Demidov, or they're going to get their number 1 right shot defenseman in Artem Levchinov.
Yep.
You really cannot go wrong either way. It's just going to be who do they view as the bigger need and the better fit.
That's amazing, Deanna.
Again, like the closest thing that I can compare the Timberwolves to is the Minneapolis Miracle. Like that is the closest. Seriously, because like
that's fair.
Everybody wrote the Wolves off. They were dead. They were going home, and
I'm not even
trying back, and the vibes are immaculate right now.
I'm not trying to even make fun of you. When the NBA playoffs first started, I didn't even realize that the Wolves were even playing in the playoffs until I heard about how the first series was going, and I was like, oh, good for the Timberwolves. I didn't even so that you're right. Everyone did write them off, including me.
Any Minnesota team, regardless of the sport, men's or women's, has pulled off a 4-game sweep. The Lynx have had a few 3-game sweeps along the way. The Twins have never had a 4-game sweep. Vikings, of course, can't because it's just playoffs. But even there, they can't string together 4 postseason wins in a row. And the Wolves have been so bad for the entirety of my life. This is the first time they've been to the second round since I was in middle school.
Yeah.
So it's been so bad for so long. Like it's turning me back into a basketball fan. Like, it really is because
welcome to
unwatchable.
Welcome to what the Cubs did for me in the sport of baseball.
Yeah.
I did not give a shit about baseball. And then the Cubs around 2015, when they were coming out of the rebuild and getting good, revived my interest because it was so fun.
Yeah, that's the thing. This Wolves
a great
team
feeling.
is fun. And I feel that same way about the Dallas Stars right now. Not that they've been bad for so long, because this is their third Western Conference Finals in 5 years. This Dallas team is fun. You've got your balance of good vets, Pavelski and Suter and Jamie Benn, who have been there for a long time and are still looking for their first. Then you've got your young guys coming through, your Logan Stankovins, your Ty Dellandrias, your Wyatt Johnstons, like Rupe Hintz. You have Jason Robertson, all these good young guys coming through. Like they're balanced really, really well. The Dallas Stars are a fun team. I'm not going to say they're the most fun team in the playoffs. I feel like that's that might be tougher than picking the winners of the series to say which is the most fun.
Yeah, it's honestly a good point. Depends on the game.
Right. Any given night. With that said, game one, I gave you the stat earlier.
You did.
I'm picking Edmonton to win game one, and I'm picking Dallas to take the series.
What's scary? Playoffs. What's scary about you saying that exact same prediction is that's exactly what happened last round. And like it's nuts. Minnesota 2-0 on Boston. There you go.
Mark with our scoreboard update here. PWHL Minnesota 2-0 on Boston, still hanging on there, trying to level the series 1-1. Cyclones fan saying this is what being a Reds fan has been like recently, but we aren't even good. We're just mid-leaning good. Reds are a fun team as well.
Yeah,
Ellie De La Cruz
is
one of my favorite
fun.
non-Minnesota Twins.
Baseball needs more players like that.
Yeah. Deanna's saying the best presser ever. You know what? I'm going to do on the fly. We're going to bring back Rank the Blank.
Oh,
because that just inspired me for
what just happened here. All right, let's go.
This is called Late Show Inspiration.
All right, should we make our pick here really quick before we do that?
Oh, I said.
Oh yeah, you picked Edmonton.
I'm going Edmonton. Are you taking Dallas?
No, we're gonna go same. We're gonna go chalk. Not chalk technically because the others are not favored, but we're gonna go same. We both picked the Rangers. We both picked Edmonton. Except, I still think Edmonton is going to win the series. Don't ask me how. I probably didn't talk as much about this, but like, I don't know how Edmonton can get past Dallas. Dallas is too damn good, but I'm going to stick with my damn bracket. But Edmonton takes game one. All right.
Rank the Blank is going to be best post-game soundbite. And we're going to start.
Wow, how did you? That was quick.
With none other than Anthony Edwards. Bring your ass. I haven't been to Minnesota in 20 years.
Bring your ass. Wow.
We're gonna start there.
I'm gonna get hated on if I put it at 1. That's just recency bias. But I actually think I might put it at 2, to be honest with you. Just the setup was so perfect from Chuck. Let's just forget about the fact that he was in Minnesota in 2019 for the NCAA tournament, but you know what? That's okay.
All right. Number 2 soundbite on the list, as brought up by Deanna, playoffs? We'll talk about playoffs? Are you kidding me? Playoffs? We're just trying to win the damn game.
Oh, my God. But I'm already picturing other ones you could put on this, so I'm a little... This might be a surprise to you. I think I'm going to put that at 4.
Okay.
I'm wondering if I can't give it 3 just because I think I know one of the ones you're going to. If not, then I made a mistake, but I'll tell you the one I'm thinking of if you don't say it.
Okay, your next entry here. The Bears are who we thought they were. And we let them off the hook. R.I.P. Denny Green.
That I got to put that at 1.
If you want to crown their ass, then crown them. But they are who we thought they were. We let
them off the hook. I'm sorry. I don't care about the home bias. That is number 1. That is number 1. It's so good.
Okay. Number 1.
Exactly where okay. I still got 3 and a 5 left, right?
Yep.
Okay. You want to crown them and crown their ass. You let them off the hook. There's still one floating in there, though, that I might have put at least number 2, if you say it.
Sorry, trying to get banners updated here.
Try not to laugh at the quote I'm thinking of.
Your next one. It's only game. Why you have to be mad? Ilya Brizgalov.
Oh my God, I can't rightfully put that at 5. Oh, that one's so good. I think I gotta put it at 5 because I'm still waiting for that other one. If not, then I've made a terrible mistake on this list because I'm anticipating one quote.
All right, hang on. I'm going to have to shorten everybody's name on this list so I can put quotes in.
No, you don't have to. You can just put the quote. The Bears. Oh, sorry.
All right. So then
Why you have to be mad?
number 3 soundbite on this list. Come after me.
Yes!
I'm a man. I'm 40.
That's it.
Yes.
I knew it. I was waiting for it, and I almost was like, I kind of want to put that at number 1 until you gave me Denny Green.
Yeah, that's fair.
I'm sorry. I didn't let the recency bias win, but I let the hometown bias win. Come after me. I'm a man. I'm 40. Oh, God. Dan, we're both closer to that quote than we think, and it's scary.
I think.
Come after me.
I think this might be my favorite rank the blank that we've done.
I can't believe
We've had some good ones. And shout out Deanna for putting this together
Serious.
on the fly.
Wow.
That was quite the inspiration.
Yes, serious.
We are a show of the people.
This proves it right here.
Yeah, Deanna saying Briz is her number 1.
Why you have to be made?
It's only game. Briz was a quote machine.
The universe is so
humongous big. and we are so small. It's like, why worry? What are you afraid of, Briz? I'm not afraid of anything. I'm afraid of bears. But bears in forests, so not worried.
Not worried.
When they had him at the All-Star game, going around and interviewing and asking questions, I sign me up for that every other year.
We need to get him on commentary.
Let's do okay. This is going to be a show, a rank the blank for a future week. I'm going to put this one in the hopper.
Ooh, we're going to tease it already. I love it.
Retired NHLers that you would most want to see on the intermission panel.
Ooh, okay, that's good. All right.
And spoiler alert, Briz will be on the list, but
you don't know the others.
You don't know the others, and I'm going to come up with the others, so Joel's going to have to rank them either way.
Yeah, you don't know them, and I definitely don't know them.
So we'll go from there, but man, this list.
I think this was my favorite one so far.
It's so good.
Deanna, we're gonna need that every week. What do we owe you?
Here's the best part. We could do this same theme from Rank the Blank next show
and still have
pick 5 different sound bites.
That's true.
Like I had one that I wanted to include, but then I'm like, oh yeah, this wasn't a post game. I was gonna go Allen Iverson. We talking about practice. Not a game. Not a game.
Practice.
We talking about practice. When they referenced that on Ted Lasso, I about fell out of my chair laughing.
Yeah.
Ted Lasso, such a good show. So well written. So many good bits. That one, that took the cake for me. That was outstanding. Joel, that's it. That's it for tonight's show.
It was a quick show.
Yeah, a little quicker than what we've gone the last couple of weeks, but nothing wrong with that. Thank you,
kept
everybody
my
who
promise.
tuned in. Yep, you did. You're how you feeling off the gummies?
Doing good.
All right, doing good.
Relaxed, which is good. I got to be focused.
Yeah,
on
I was gonna say, how's the tattoo itch going?
It's not too bad right now.
And you said you still got one more session for them to finish it off.
Yep, they got to add a bunch of color. They got to color all the infinity stones because right now they just look like little molecules that look like alligators.
What's your when are you finishing off the
June 2nd. June
2nd. All right. Yeah, so you got a little bit of time here before then, but not too long to wait to
finish product.
We are not going to have a show next week.
We waited to give you the bad news.
Some conflicts here, so it's not quite going to work out for next week. So stay tuned to social media. We will try to figure out when we're going to have that next show. Looking like maybe June 3rd, maybe June 5th. Kind of depends how playoff brackets fall and what the schedule looks like moving out of the conference finals.
We pissed off Mark. Sorry.
I'm sorry, Mark. Don't hate me.
We're sorry. I mean, our marketing guy.
I see what you did there.
I should take a gummy every week.
Maybe that could be your new bit.
Make that the beginning bit. Did Joel take a gummy or no?
Pod Snipe gummy. Nah, yours was better.
No, that was good. That was really good.
It wasn't bad, but marketing guy was better. So stay tuned to our social media accounts. We'll let you know what the next show is going to be. Probably about 2 weeks out, but not sure if it's going to be June 3rd, June 5th. We'll see how the playoff schedule falls. But thank you so much to everybody who tuned in throughout the show. As a reminder as well, and then shame on me for not having this up as well, be sure to like, subscribe, and follow at Snipe Celly. We are on Twitter, YouTube, and on Facebook. Be sure to subscribe. Hit that notification bell so you know when we're going live in case you don't get the announcement for whenever the show is. That way you'll be all set to go. But that's it for tonight. He's Joel. I'm Dan. Enjoy the rest of your night, everybody.
Bye!